I'm Nicole. I live in Melbourne, Australia. And I was diagnosed with endometrial cancer in December 2022, which is it's quite close to our present time. The diagnosis was based on a curative procedure that was prompted by a number of symptoms that I've had. And then that diagnosis was confirmed in January 2023 via a post-surgery biopsy. So I think, like many other people who have been through this journey, my life turned upside down, and I have the biopsy, the results of the biopsy were positive, some positives, but there were also some concerns. So the positives were that the cancerous cells were grade 1. There was no invasion to the cervix. The lymph nodes were clear. But during the surgery procedure, they took tissues from around the uterus, and they found a 0.9 millimeters cancer tumor that was on the sigmoid, so just behind the uterus. And because of that, I was offered the conventional treatment that entailed chemotherapy and radiation. And because the treatment was recommended by a number of doctors who sat down and had a chat about my situation, my condition, some of the doctors considered that chemo would be an overkill, but radiation was a must. I did say yes originally. I said yes for radiation. But obviously my life was turned upside down. I went into a frantic research and started asking myself a number of questions. How did I get here? Obviously. There was also the one, how come this is happening to me? And I've learned pretty quickly that cancer is actually an illness, a disease of a lifestyle, rather than genetics. And even though through our genes we may be prone to some diseases, cancer included, there's also above the genetics are the epigenetics, which means above genetics. And that it's looking into what's your lifestyle, what's your nutrition, what type of stress are you subjected to? Are you subjected to a lot of stress? What's your work-life balance? Have you suffered any emotional trauma? So there's so many questions to be asked. It's not just that all of a sudden you got cancer. And what really bothered me when it comes to conventional treatment is that the doctors, you're being fit into a box, and you're not being looked at as an individual, and they don't necessarily look at your individual circumstances. That's my humble opinion. Therefore I looked for what else is there, and I learned that, and I knew that, but I kind of got a confirmation of what I already knew, that your body can heal itself, providing that you do some changes in your lifestyle, and you have the support in your healing process. And that's how I came across VeritaLife. And I really done a research and read about the treatments that they were offering, which on a nutshell I could say that they are very supportive of your immunity. So they support your immunity system, and they also as opposed to the conventional chemo and radiation treatment, they don't target the healthy cells. So they actually target the tumor cells and the cancer cells through the treatments that they're offering. I've submitted a form. I filled out all my personal details. I forwarded all my test results and the biopsy results. And I've ended up having a number of consultations with Dr. Hosami, which are 3, after which I quickly made the decision that that's the journey that I want to follow, and that's the treatment that I would like to experience. What can I say? When I got here, prior to getting to Bangkok, of course I had doubts like everybody else, and I was probably lacking confidence, not in the treatment, in myself, in my capacity to heal. But arriving here and being surrounded by this really positive culture, and I can't describe in words the care that the nurses, they are absolutely exceptional, and the doctors, the one that, the support that they showed me and all the other patients. And I've learned so many things about cancer, although I'm not a doctor, and I'm really confident and positive that I will go home now, and I will most definitely have to make those changes that I read about, and those are the changes that are being promulgated by the clinic as well. Now, to get a little bit in the treatment that I've had and was recommended to me by Dr. Hosami from the very beginning, and the treatment was tailored to my circumstances and my condition, was first of all, was the one that comes to mind is the metronomic treatment, which uses which is a chemotherapy at very low dose, ultra low dose concentration. If my memory doesn't trick me, it's 0.8. I remember Dr. Hosami said that at the very beginning. That actually, what it does, it cuts the blood supply to the vessels into the tumor cells. Then there's the herbal treatment, mostly via IV protocol, but also orally, and that is EGCG, curcumin, resveratrol, and black cumin, the latter being orally administered. Then there's the biological treatment, which is also IV protocol administered, which is a high dose of vitamin C and artemisinin, if memory doesn't trick me again. And there's also metabolic treatment, which ensures that the metabolic treatment reduces the energy into the tumor cells, so it won't allow it to grow. So that's also based on my understanding of the processes, metabolic processes that happen. And of course the immune boosting treatment and the one that comes to mind is the hypothermia treatment that helps boost your immune system. So also a special diet. It's being tailored in a clinic for cancer patients that excludes, sugar, very less carbs in the food, and organic food, and that actually supports you into the healing process. So that's my story, and I think I've met amazing people here, and not only the doctors and the nurses, which I will always talk about at a highest level because of the care, the genuine care that they've showed us, but also all the patience. We've been able to share our stories and support each other, and that made a cumulative sort of enthusiasm and willingness to overcome